Building a business is like building a house, and not all houses are the same. Some people live in mobile homes, which is the get rich quick or Ponzi schemes, scams of the business world. Little effort is put into it. It's built out of fear and scarcity. There's also kind of mid-grade, contractor grade houses, cookie cutter homes that are built extremely quickly and without quality in mind. And those houses are in constant need of repair and upkeep because they're, again, built quickly, cheap, and not with craftsmen who really care about the house that's being built. And sometimes people live in mansions. A lot of the time these mansions are passed down from generation to generation, but sometimes new mansions are built so that generational wealth can be built. Building a mansion obviously isn't cheap, and it's likely not realistic for you or me to live in a mansion. But when we're looking at it as a metaphor for business, the mansion is what you should be going for. You can't do it alone, and the people who build that mansion are professionals, and they're focused and passionate about building that mansion. Now let's go through the step-by-step process of building a house. First, you obviously need the location, right? So you found the location. On that location, on the build site, there's likely going to be a pre-existing structure. So you're going to have to demolish it. This is the part in the process of building where you are shedding unhelpful and useless mental hang-ups that won't be serving you as you're building. It's also the time when you shed people, places, and things that won't serve you while you're building. After this, we enter the design and permitting phase. So in the business metaphor, this is where you're researching, learning, experimenting, really understanding what it is that you want to build. You're coming up with the design, the framework for this thing that you're building. This process is difficult, it's time consuming, and most people give up, but you see it through, and once you get through that point in time, you have the drawings approved, you have the permits or permission to build, and you can begin. Now, the permit that you've received to build the house has rules attached to it, and the business that you've decided to build also has rules attached to it. It has to be something that has been done before, but it's intriguingly original. It needs to solve a specific problem for a specific group of people, and it needs to be something that you're passionate and excited about. If it checks all these boxes, and if you can stick with it and you can follow these rules, then you will be successful in building. The permit is a metaphor for you giving yourself permission to take your life and your career into your own hands. And the blueprint that you've created is a metaphor for the business plan that you've crafted using your own research, your own analysis, and your own intrigue, following a curiosity and putting it down on paper and making a rock solid concrete plan to follow step by step so that you can be successful in the business that you're growing. Now, with the blueprint and permits in hand, it's now time to start excavation. So we're digging that hole that I touched on at the beginning of this video. And this is the point in time in your business growth where you're experimenting, you're taking action, you're trying, failing, succeeding, failing, and you're repeating that process for quite a while. You make phone calls, you look for opportunities, you learn to accept the word no and live with it and not be discouraged. You become relentless and obsessed. And most importantly, you learn through taking action. A lot of really intense and passionate action. Once the site is excavated, you now have to pour your foundation wall. So the company comes, they set up the forms, the concrete gets poured. Once it's cured, those forms get pulled away and you're left with a concrete foundation wall, which was built properly and took time and preparation and planning. And metaphorically, this is the part where now you can really actually start getting to work building. The foundation is done, concrete it's strong, it's well planned. Now you refer back to those original blueprints and you start to assemble the floor system. So you put the floor joists in, you put in any beams or posts that need to be installed between the ground floor and the basement, and then you put the sheeting on top of those floor joists. You throw up the ground floor walls, you throw up the interior walls, the load-bearing walls, you get these stairs installed, then you get the flooring system for the second floor built, and then you go on to all the exterior and interior walls on that second floor, then the roof trusses go in, you get everything sheeted up. This is the process of framing. You are framing out the structure of the house. Metaphorically, this is the process of creating systems and standard operating procedures. You are building out the basic framework of how your business operates and navigates the market that you've decided to participate in. You invest in materials and equipment and people. You start to develop your sales and marketing processes. You start to make profits. You get clients. Those profits then get invested back into the business to allow it to continue to germinate and percolate and grow. Now, once you've completed the framing, you move on to mechanical rough-ins. So you do plumbing lines, you do electrical, and you do HVAC. You get the shingles put on the roof, you do Tyvek paper around the outside of the home, you button everything up. This is the part of the build where you are protecting the inside of the house from the elements on the outside. So in your business, this is the point in time where you're really putting things in place to give you a safe and confident feeling in what you're doing day to day. You are in a nice flow now with how everything's operating. The outside elements aren't throwing you around so much. You're getting into a groove and things are starting to work more and more in your favor. You refine your products and your services so that if there are market fluctuations, something volatile happens, then you're able to pivot quickly and you can keep the business's head above water as you continue to push forward. Once the structure is completed and it's all sealed in, it's weatherproofed, you then start to get the insulation put in. You get vapor barrier done, you get the drywall installed, outlets and switches are wired up, you get flooring installed, baseboard and trim installed. But this is the part of the project where things start to go wrong. The tile guy underestimated and didn't order enough material for the job, and now he can't locate the material that he needs to tile the entire floor. In the kitchen, the wall in the master closet was installed 8 inches to the left, and now in the master ensuite, you can't fit the vanity that was designed to fit in there. So you have to think on your feet. In the kitchen, the window that was supposed to be there actually went into the dining room. And now because of that mistake, the cabinetry that is currently designed for the space is overlapping into that window by 2 inches. This is the part in your growth where you lose a big client, or an employee gets injured, or some sort of market shift happens and it leaves 3 of your services obsolete. But you don't stumble and you continue to push forward fearlessly because you've built up the mindset required to be able to face these kinds of struggles. Which brings me to the sponsor of today's video, me. Mindset Mastery was built because I saw a missing opportunity in the market for people who needed help with understanding the most important part of business growth. It's not technical stuff, it's not theoretical stuff. It's what's up here, it's what's in your head. It's a video-based education product that goes over everything I've used and still use to this day to grow my own business. Over 4 modules and 23 video lessons, we go over topics like the subconscious manifestation, how money works, fear versus love, the personality types, and my golden rule, which is to just be cool. If you want to check that out, the link is down below. Anyways, let's finish off this video. Once you've used your mindset that you've developed to push through these hard times that you're facing, it's now time to, get it across the finish line. So custom cabinetry gets installed. The rest of the flooring goes in. So the tile, the fine finish carpentry work gets done. Sinks, toilets, countertops, faucets and fixtures. Everything that's going to finish this house up and put a pretty bow on it is now being done in what is called the punch list phase. Once you've completed the interior of the house, you draw your attention to the exterior. You work on the landscaping. You repave the driveway, seal it up, make it pretty. You plant some trees, get some gardens installed, deck, patio, etc. This is the part in your process where you've worked out the kinks. You've really gone through quite a bit while you're growing. You've had your back pushed up against the wall through market volatility and countless other struggles, but you pushed back. Much like a house, now all you have to do is maintain it, and you have to improve it every once in a while whenever required. With a house, maybe in 10 years you get tired of something, so you renovate. Something breaks and you fix it. That's just how it is. Maybe in 10 years something happens within your business model. You have to make a few changes, a few adjustments, and ideally, because you've built that strong foundation, it's got good bones, it's not going to be too challenging to make those small little micro adjustments so you can keep growing and expanding and scaling your business. Now, throughout the entire build, there are going to be regular inspections by building professionals who are representing the municipality that you're building this house in. And there are laws, bylaws, and rules that you have to follow while you're building any structure, wherever you live. These regular check-ins, these audits of your performance in your business and how you interact with your clients or your customers, those are the inspections. Those are the people who actually matter, checking in on if you are performing well, if you are adding value to the lives of your customers and clients. And you need to follow their rules, because the customer, the client, they make the rules no matter what that rule is. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you like this video. If you're looking for something to watch next, then check out this video about the Dunning-Kruger effect, which fits nicely with this video in the realm of business. It's about being overly confident at the start of any endeavor, and then, having a few hangups happen, and you quickly drop down to what's called the valley of despair. And a lot of the time, what tends to happen is we're in despair. We get scared. We don't want to keep going, so we quit, try something else. But the Dunning-Kruger effect says that if you stick with it, you push through that darkness, then you will eventually reach the slope of enlightenment. So you're learning, you're getting better, you're figuring it out, and you're earning the confidence that you had at the start of the process. And then you get to the plateau of sustainability. So check that video out. Thanks again for watching, and see you later.